Okay, here we go. Uh, okay, I'm not mute. Okay, first of all, I would like to thank you all for showing that interest for this webinar. So I could see around 30 to 40 numbers of entries for the registration, but I could at the end hardly 10 members got joined. It's fine. There is no problem. So let's quickly start it. So here I could see 50-50%, that is 50% working people and another 50% are students, right? So we will cover in the details that to based on the audience so that everybody could understand what exactly this one, right? So let's get started it quickly. So Agile with Scrum, right? So as some freshers are also here, so if you are thinking Agile and Scrum, this is something. Okay, just wait. So if you are thinking Agile is a programming language or any programming stuffs, right? It is something coding or some like Java program we need to code something, then it's completely wrong, right? So this is completely wrong thing. It's not about coding, or you are not gonna coding anything here. So what exactly this Agile one? It's a process. Okay, so it's a process. For example, if I will say, uh, that you are organizing some festival in your college or any festival like some tech fest, or you can say some freshers party, or it's a what we can say, it's a farewell party, whatever. So before that one we are planning something, what is the budget for that one, and what are the logistics required, everything we are planning in a proper way, then we are executing that one, right? So it's a process, and we are following that process to make it success and to make it happen, right? To make it happen, that ceremony whatever we have. So exactly like that in during the software development also, right? So we are developing some product for some client, and or we are developing some application for some client, right? So that time we need to ensure that our product is uh, highly scalable and highly it's the best fit to that client. Whatever client wants, we need to deliver it in proper way. So to deliver in the proper way and deliver in good quality, so we need to follow some processes, like we need to follow some process. So here we are following agile process to deliver that product to our client, to make it happen and to make it success, right? So behind the screen, agile is a process. So hope you got that at basic level what is agile is. So this is all about those stuffs. So just recently I told something client, right? We are delivering our product or our application to that client. So some people may think that what is the client and all. So just a quick example, that sorry, not Flipkart, sorry, that railway system is there, right? Indian railway system, right? Suppose Indian railway system want a ticket booking system. So people will uh, people will log in some screen and they will book some tickets, right? So but to develop that entire thing, we don't have Indian Railway don't have any IT team, right? They don't have any engineers to develop that entire screen. So they need to contact some IT giants like either TCS or Infosys or Wipro, whoever those IT companies are there. So those IRCTC or railway people will approach us to those companies. Hey, we want this kind of product. Can you develop for this us? Right. So in that scenario, Indian Railway is that client, and TCS or Infosys or Wipro, whoever is there, they will take that project and they will do. So in that case, for TCS, Indian Railway is that client. So hope you got that what is the client and what all. So let's move to our software development process. So in earlier days, what we are doing, what processes we are following in the earlier days, right? Now currently we are following Agile, but before days, what exactly we are following, right? So earlier days we are following the waterfall model or waterfall development, right? So hope all of us studied during this our curriculum, that waterfall model and waterfall development. So we all knows these things, but still I will iterate and I will tell what exactly this one. So in waterfall model, this is the process. So initially what we will do, it's a phase of requirement gathering, right? So the business analyst or that entire team will collect those requirements from the client. Suppose here I will take that example of, suppose Flipkart, right? So Flipkart want to develop a product for their business. So if you consider what are the requirements, right? So it should be a UI screen, people should log in, people should do a wish list, people should add those products into those carts, and they will what else, they will purchase something, and they will do the addressing, they will do the billing, the entire thing is there, right? So this is the entire requirements are there, right? So business analyst will contact to those business users or clients and make a requirement gatherings, right? They will collect those requirements, what exactly they want and how the product should be built, the entire thing they will gather those requirements, right? It's a phase by phase manner, as they say waterfall. This is a phase by phase manner. So first, either suppose it's a big product or big project or big application, means it will take some lot of time to gather the requirements, suppose maybe 2 to 3 months or 1 to 2 months. So in this phase, we'll collect all those requirements from business or clients, right? So once we have taken those requirements, the next phase is designing, right? So designing, in the designing phase, what exactly we are doing, so whatever the requirement we got, the business logics, then we need to design our system, right? So here in this design phase, it's coming into the picture about technical architecture, it's coming about db design, it's coming into sequence diagram, or what you can say, that flow diagram, whatnot, everything we're gonna design in this design phase, right? So this is the design phase, we'll design the entire system. Once designing is completed, then we'll move to next phase, right? So this is phase by phase. In this designing phase, there is no requirement gathering at all, right? Once we have done the requirement gathering, then we'll move to next design phase, right? Once design phase is completed, then we'll move to development phase, right? So in the development phase, it's coming into picture about developers and entire team, right? So developers includes either it's a UI developer or backend developer like Java developer, or it's a DV design developer. So every people will be coming into picture, and they will develop the system entire, develop the entire system, right? So in the development also, it will take 5 to 6 months based on that complexity and business, how the big the project is, or how the big product is, or how the big application is, right? So based on that, here also the development also, it will take long time or short time based on that thing, right? So once we have done the development, then it's coming into testing phase, right? So in testing phase, what exactly we are doing, so here testers will be coming into picture. So they will do that test case prepare and test plan prepare, test data prepare. So how they will test, what are the business logic they want to test, and what are the different functionality they want to test. First they will prepare all the entire testing plan, right? So once they have prepared the testing plan and data, then they will proceed for testing. So during the testing, they will find lots of bugs, they will find lots of defects, then again they will report those things to development team, and development team again will fix, and it will continue, right? So during this testing phase, we'll do test end to end, like sanity test, regression test, everything will do this in testing phase, right? So once testing phase is done, then it will move to production. Production means go live, right? And it will coming into maintenance phase. So if anything requirement change, we'll get entire thing and all those stuffs, right? So in one line, what I can say, waterfall development is another name of more traditional approaches to software development process, right? So this is that entire waterfall model. So what exactly demerit or what pitfalls are there in waterfall model? Let's see, right? As it's a phase by phase manner, first we'll get the requirement, then design, then development, then testing and production. So suppose during that requirement gathering, client thought something, but our development team take it in a different way, then at the end the outcome will be different, right? So client wants maybe the product should be like this way, but at the end developer and the team delivered something else, right? So that time it's a what we can say, the client will be not happy, right? For example, you have ordered something from Amazon or Flipkart, you have ordered some phone, but instead of that phone you got something else. Will you be happy? No, right? So obviously you will not be happy, right? Okay, good. So obviously you will not be happy, right? Because you have paid for something but you got something else. You have paid for something but you have got something else. The client will not be, you also will not be happy, right? If you consider that example. So like this, at the end, if the client will not get the actual thing whatever he want, then client will not be happy. This is one thing. And second thing is, suppose client want to modify something, or he want to change the design or anything in that application, then it's very difficult. Why? Means the entire system you have developed, just imagine the entire complex big system developed, and the client want to change something, right? So in that case, if you change one thing, then it will break some other thing in that project, right? So this is a very difficult thing to to incorporate some new changes in that existing project, right? Those are the pitfalls are there in waterfall model. So I already told, if client wants something but you delivered something, definitely client will not be happy. So just see here, if you see my screen here, the client's expectation, it's a tiger. I want this kind of a tiger, right? But maybe some communication gap or something happened, but at the end the developers delivered a cat. It's a cute little cat, just see, right? So that time obviously that client will not be happy, the client will be angry, and both the client will not be happy and developer teams also will not be happy, right? So in that case we need to follow some good process, that we make the client happy, we make the client success, and we make our deliverables proper way, right? Then it's coming into agile process, right? So agile is that software development process, and if you know the agile, that word itself, it's a quick deliverable. The agile word itself, it indicates it's a quick deliverable things. That's not will take some hell lot 1 year time to deliver some product, no. So it's a quick deliverable things, right? So agile is a rapid development, it's a completely adaptable things, and it's a quality driven development, and it's a iterative approach. Phase by phase manner will phase by phase manner will deliver some products or deliver some outcomes, some working features to the client, right? This is that agile thing. Now let's move to move and we'll see what is that scrum in that one, right? So agile is a big umbrella, so it's kind of it's a process. So on that agile process we do have different frameworks or different tools are there, or different models, you can say. Those things are right. So first of all it's a scrum, then crystal, then kanban, then xp. So xp means doesn't think don't think that it's a what in old days we have those operating system, no. What is that operating system? XP operating system, right? So this is not that XP operating system. It's a extreme program, one model, right? It's part of the Agile. It's one model. Then it's a feature driven development. Something is there. DS, DM, and RUP. Some other models are there. Even I don't know those things, so no need to worry. So out of these, all those models in most of the industries following Scrum and Kanban, right? So those two models are there. So most of the people or most of the company, most of the organizations are following Scrum and Kanban. Those two models people are following, right? So so today's discussion is Scrum thing. So Scrum model we're gonna discuss, right? So any questions so far? Okay, all are there. So any questions? Any questions? Okay, if you okay, let me wait some time. Okay, if you don't have any questions, and then I assume you got everything. Let's move to next slide. So Scrum, what exactly is Scrum, right? So everywhere people are saying Agile Scrum. What exactly that Scrum means, right? So Scrum is a lightweight Agile process tool, right? So it's a lightweight Agile process tool. So tool means, don't think that we'll install some things like some Maven tool, like some Gradle tool, or some Git tool, right? It's nothing like that. It's a kind of process, and from that, Agile is a tool, right? Don't think that, hey, maybe I need to install something to do that one. No, 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 that's not the case, right? So it's a framework, or it's a tool. People are saying that one, but you don't need to install anything. It's a process. I already said, right? So that is Scrum thing, right? So in that Scrum, we do have different roles are there, right? Different kind of roles are there in that Scrum. So if you see here in my PPT, you can see product owner is one role, then here Scrum master is one role, and Scrum team is another role, right? So let's quickly go one by one. What is their responsibility, and what exactly they are doing in that a a company or in a team, what exactly they are doing, right? So product owner, right? So the name itself indicates it owns everything, right? So the primary goal of that product owner is to represent the customer to the development team, right? Suppose you know that if Flipkart, we want to develop a product for Flipkart. Suppose we want to develop a product of a Flipkart, right? So first we need to gather those requirements. What are all those things that business wants, right? So developers like you and me cannot directly meet those business people, right? So who will represent those business things to us? So who will tell those details things to us, right? So that guy is product owner, right? So he will do some hell lot of meetings during evening, night, and all those stuffs to that business users and clients, and gather all those requirements, and he will maintain those product backlog, right? So product backlog is a artifact means something, is a place where every feature he will gather, right? After taking all those requirements, like we'll design a UI screen, we will design a login module, we'll design a cart module, we'll design a wish list module, we'll design a billing module, we'll do a integration with Paytm or any financial service where we'll do the transactions. So all those requirements will be gathered by the product owner, and he will maintains those things in a product backlog. So product backlog is a space where the product owner will be maintaining those requirements, or maintaining or store those requirements or features, whatever those called. So he will maintain those product backlogs, right? So product owner has the responsibility to maintain those product backlogs. Fine. Now let's coming into Scrum Master, right? So Scrum Master is a role that guy will maintain or ensure that everybody is following that agile practices, right? So in that agile team, he will make sure that everybody is following the agile practices, and there will be no hurdle in between the development team, and there is no roadblockers in the development team. Everyone is going smoothly, and everyone is delivering the product in a efficient way. So the entire thing will be managed by the Scrum Master. He will manage different meetings in team during that during that development phase. So Scrum Master will take care of this, or take care of those entire thing, right? So those meetings will come in the next slide. What are those meetings are there, and what all we are going to do during the development phase. So entire thing is there, we're gonna see those things. So this is the product, sorry, this is that Scrum Master. Then it's coming to Scrum team, right? So Scrum team includes developers like you and me, and QA and DB team, right? So this Scrum team will be taking care of those product development, right? The development things will be taken care by Scrum team, and they will ensure that yes, we are following that agile process correctly, right? So hope you got those entire roles: product owner, Scrum Master, and Scrum team, entire thing, right? So let's move to next slide, right? So Scrum events, right? So those are earlier whatever told, those are roles. So what is the roles, and what people can do what thing, right? Those roles already I have defined. Now it's the time Scrum events. What are the events can occur inside a Scrum, right? So first of all, the sprint, right? So it's a pretty funny name, that sprint. So what exactly that sprint in a Scrum, right? So sprint is a time frame. Unlike waterfall model, we are taking the entire 1 year to develop a project, but in sprint, but in Scrum, Agile Scrum, we do have some limited time frame, right? So maybe it's a 2 weeks time, or maybe it's a 3 weeks time, or maybe it's a 4 weeks time. So beyond that it cannot exceed for that agile one. So ideally people will take 2 weeks time for a sprint. So sprint means it's a time frame, 2 weeks time. So 2 weeks means 7 days, 7 days, 14 days, but in a week we do have 2 days holiday, right? So Saturday, Sunday holiday, so we do have 5 working days. So in a sprint, the sprint means 10 working days. It's a 2 weeks sprint, 2 weeks time frame, right? So that sprint indicates it's a 2 weeks time frame, whatever we are going to develop in that 2 weeks time frame, right? Hope you got what exactly that sprint is. Now let's move to next one. It's a sprint planning. You can see the sprint planning, right? So in sprint planning, what we are gonna do, the product owner is there, right? So he will conduct a meeting, planning meeting. So Scrum Master will be there, and all those development team members or Scrum team members will be there, right? So you know that old days, our grandpa will tell us stories, right? So grandpa will be sit in the middle, and all of us surrounded by him, right? So we'll be sit there and we'll listen to our grandparent, right? And he will tell some stories like this. So in the middle, that who is that guy? Product owner will be product owner and scrum master will be seated, and will be surrounded by him, and then that meeting will happen, right? In that meeting, so product owner will identify what exactly we are going to deliver within this sprint, within this 15 days, or sorry, within this 10 days of sprint. So what exactly we are going to deliver, what is the goal of the sprint, what working code we are going to deliver for that, for our client, right? So exactly entire thing will be discussed, what features we are going to develop and how much work we are going to develop. The entire thing will be planned in that planning meeting, right? So product owner will identify all those priorities things, sorry, all those priority features are there, right? So what is the important features we need to deliver with this, within this 10 days, what is the important things are there that client wants in this sprint, right? So entire thing, those things will be taken care by uh, what is that guy, product owner, and we'll plan the entire thing in that planning session, right? So in that planning session, those features will take, right? So in the next slide I will tell what exactly that one. So this is the planning phase we are doing. Then after planning phase everything is done, then development will with the developers will start the development. We got the requirement, or we got the business things entirely for that different features, then we'll start the development accordingly, right? So now it's coming into daily scrum. What exactly the daily scrum, right? Once exactly planning done, then daily will develop, right? So in the daily scrum means it's a stand up meeting, right? Suppose we do have 10 days of sprint. So in the 10 days, each day what exactly we are doing, right? We need to tell entire team, right? So if you see here right hand side this picture, so they are standing in a circle, and they are discussing that one, right? One by one we'll discuss, hey, I am doing this one, and I have done this much. So if any hurdles are there on any, or any roadblockers are there, we're gonna discuss in that meeting. So that meeting should not exceed 15 to 20 minutes, but it sometimes it may extend beyond that one, right? So exactly we are discussing. So what is the discussion point, yesterday what exactly I have done, today what exactly I will gonna do, and if is there any roadblockers, or is there any hurdles I am facing, right? So we all people will discuss that one. If any hurdles or any roadblockers are there, we need to identify that one, and we will solve that problem of that developer, right? So this daily scrum or daily stand-up meeting will help us to meet our goal, or meet our goal of the sprint. So what goal of the sprint, right? So we will achieve that one, or it will help us to achieve that goal. So this is that daily scrum, or you can say it's a stand-up meeting we daily doing. So it's a time, it's a fixed in time, right? So maybe some people are doing at that morning time, like suppose your office time is 10, means maybe 11 or 12 we are doing that stand-up meeting or daily scrum, or some team may doing at the evening time also, afternoon time also, maybe 4 to 5, or 4 to 5, or any suitable time, but it should be in the fixed time. Suppose you are doing in daily morning, 11 to 12 means it should be 11 to 12, not like that today 11 to 12, tomorrow 1 to 2, the next day 3 to 4. It's not like that, right? And it should be time bound, right? It should be hardly 15 to 30 minutes, not beyond that one. Okay, so now let's move to sprint review. So what exactly sprint review, right? So once planning done and daily scrum meeting happening, sorry, not daily stand up happening, and daily we are doing development. So once we have done that sprint 10 days, then what exactly we're gonna do next? It's a sprint review meeting, right? So if you see here sprint review, here is a scrum team, right, delivering a product or delivering a working feature to that client, right? So in that review, who will participate? Developer, sorry, scrum team, scrum master, and product owner, and will deliver those things to client or business user, right? We'll show that demo, hey, we developed this one, so is that working fine, or whatever we have developed, is that you expected, or do you want to change anything? Everything will gonna do in sprint review. So what hurdles we have faced during this sprint, and what is the challenging things we have faced, the entire things will be discussed here. The main part is we need to delivery whatever we have developed during this 10 days. It's a working feature, we need to deliver to that client, or you can say business user, right? So business user will see, this one is that feature, yes, it's meet my expectation, or no, no, it's not fine, we need to some more modification, right? So that time those client or business user will say, right? So this is called sprint review meeting or sprint review event. Then last is sprint retrospective, right? So sprint retrospective, what exactly this one, right? So once you have done that delivery, you have delivered that one, that working feature, right? So during this retrospective, we'll discuss what hurdles we have faced during, maybe it's during the process, or maybe it's different tools, or maybe it's in the team, what hurdles we are facing, any challenges we are facing, right? Or what can be improved, or what lagging in that team during this sprint, within this 10 days of sprint. So what exactly lagging from our side, right? So the entire thing we have done, whatever we have done with these 10 days, so we'll do a retrospective, what exactly is lagging, or what going well, or what gone wrong, right? Those things we'll discuss. Like, is there any more thing we can do? If you see here that slide, if you can do more thing, or if you have done some less things, we take some large amount of work but we delivered less amount, so we'll do those analysis. And is there any, we have during the development we got some frustration or everything, we'll analyze that one. So what could be better in the next sprint, right? So sprint by sprint we'll do 15 days, sorry, 10 days, 10 days, we'll do that, we'll develop the entire product or program, right? So retrospective indicates what goes well and what goes wrong, that we need to identify, so that in the coming sprint we'll rectify those things and we'll go a smooth sprint, right? So this is the entire retrospective, right? So hope you got it, what is the sprint, what is the sprint planning, what is the daily scrum, and sprint review, and retrospective. Hope, right? So hope you got this one. Let's move to next one. So split or sorry, so this Agile Scrum indicates split your work into list of small concrete deliverables, sort the list by priority, and estimate the relative effort of each item, right? So earlier waterfall model, the entire chunk, you can see left hand side, the entire chunk we are developing into one sort. But in Agile Scrum, what we are doing, we are dividing that entire one into some chunks, or some small fragments, or small work. And from that small work, or those features, we need to identify what are the most priority things, right? And those most priority things will deliver one by one, and at the end we'll get the entire product deliverable, right? This is the entire Agile Scrum. Now let's move to next screen. So here you can see user stories, right? What exactly that user stories? I already told that planning, review, or retrospective, entire thing we done, right? So what exactly this user story and where it fits, right? So these user stories are, the project or product is described as a list of features at the backlog, right? The features are described in terms of user stories, right? So already I told the the product owner will maintain those product backlog, right? So product backlog is the place where all those features will be present, right? Those features, each feature is called one user story, right? User story indicates it's a feature. Suppose if you take the Flipkart example, designing a login screen, it's a feature, so it's a user story. Designing a cart module, right? Cart, you already you know, right? Recently big billion day gone, right? You all know. I mean, from long back we have done some, we have put our products in the wish list, right? So designing a wish list module, that is a user story. Designing a billing system, that is a user story, right? Or it's a feature, those are user stories, right? So user stories are, it's a feature. And product owner maintains these things in backlog, right? So whatever the business things, he will identify and put in those user stories, right? Suppose a login screen, right? So in that user story he will put yes, login screen should be this one, user should be enter his user id or email id or phone number and password, then he can log in. The entire description, product owner will put in the user story. And who will work on that feature, he will see those requirement things and business things, and he will develop, that developer, right? Hope you got about that, what exactly this user story. Now let's move to next slide. Estimation and prioritization, this is a very good concept, right? So user story we got, right? Feature we got, right? That feature someone will gonna develop, right? Some developer will code that feature, he will develop that feature or user story, right? So before developing that user story, we need to identify what is the estimation. We need to estimate what exactly that user story size, right? So what exactly that feature size means, how big is that feature is, or how big is that task is, right? We need to estimate, right? Suppose if you see here, we do have t-shirts, right? T-shirts, small size, medium size, large size, and XL size. So what are those things, SM and XL? Those are sizes, right? It will identify how big is that t-shirt. Small means, yes, we can say it's a very small size. M means we can say it's a medium size, and large means it's a large size. XL means it's a extra large size. So it indicates how big is that, t-shirts, right? So exactly like this user story, or is that feature, so how big is that feature, right? So that we can compare one user story to another, right? How big is that one, we need to estimate that one. So different estimation techniques are there. So ideally we are following Fibonacci series. So 0 1 1 2 3 5 8 13 20 40 100. So these are the Fibonacci series we are following. Yes, maybe this user stories take 1 point, or this user stories may take 2 points, or this user story say this user story may take 3 points. So it indicates how big is that feature, or how big is that task. Don't relate these points to hours, working hours, or maybe it's suppose you are thinking it's a one user, sorry, 1 point means it's a 1 day's work, or 2 points means it's a 2 days work, or 3 points means it's a 3 days work. That is totally wrong, right? So it indicates this number indicates how big is one user story, or how big is one feature, right? So so this is that estimation things we are estimating using this Fibonacci series, right? Down then let's come into prioritization. Prioritization means which feature we are going to deliver fast in this scrum or in this sprint. What exactly we are going to deliver within this 10 days, what we are going to deliver. So that is prioritization. So product owner will prioritize those things. Yes, these 10 features we want to delivery within this sprint or within this 10 days. That is prioritization, right? So this estimation, right? 0 1 2 3 5 8 13. So what are the different parameters are there to estimate a story? So how you can say, yes, this story is this much big, or this is 3 point 5 point. What other parameters are there to estimates, right? So let's see those parameters. So point estimation parameters, right? So what on what basis you can say yes, it may take 3 point or it may take 5 point, right? So if you see here in my screen, business values, right? So what business value lying on that one feature? So what is the business outcome of that one, that user story, right? So the based on the business value and the amount of work you are going to spend, right? Suppose some feature is there, suppose it's a cart module, right? So in that cart module, so how much amount it can take to work on that work module, sorry, cart module, right? So how much amount of work you need to do to complete that task or complete that feature. So based on that amount of work, you need to consider this amount of work to estimate a story. Then coming into complexity, right? So complexity means, oh, how much business complex is there. So is there any complex logics you need to write for that feature, or is there any complex system you are going to develop for that feature, right? So based on that complexity, based on the complexity also, we need to estimate that points of that story. So these are different parameters like business value, amount of work, and complexity. So these are the parameters. So based on that, we need to identify what exactly point fits into that one. So that point, so that user story should fit, right? So these are the parameters. So I told, right, if you see here, don't think that if it's a one pointer means 1 day, 2 pointer means 2 day, or 3 pointer means 3 day. That is not exactly like that. So I'll give an example here, right? Suppose I want to travel from Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam, right? Suppose maybe it's a 800 kilometer. Let it be, it's a 800 kilometer, right? So you want to travel from Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam. So can you say how much time it will take? Anybody respond if you aware those things? So how much time it will take? Anybody? We want to move from Visakhapatnam to, sorry, Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam. So how much time it will take? Maybe Prakash, if you are saying anything, I am not able to listen you. You are not at all audible.
12 hours.
Okay. So someone is saying 12 hours, right? Okay, good. I assume that it's 12 hours, right? Okay, cool. So Visakhapatnam, sorry, Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam will travel. Someone is saying it's a 12 hours, right? But that's not perfect, right? I cannot say it will take 12 hours, right? So what parameters you are checking while you are saying 12 hours? So maybe if you are going by a flight, maybe you are going by a flight. So will it take 12 hours? No, right? Hardly 1 hour it will take to reach Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam, right? So if you consider, maybe you are going by a train, definitely it will take uh, 8 to 10 hours, no doubt in that one, fine. Suppose you are going via a car, four-wheeler, a car, it's your personal car and you are traveling. Maybe it will take less time. Maybe you are, say NH, you are NH and you are traveling at say at a speed of 100 or 120 kilometer per hour and more than that one. So maybe you will reach early, right? Maybe you are traveling by bike, it's a super bike and you are traveling with a hell lot amount of speed. Maybe you will reach earlier, right? So different factors are there. First of all, what thing you are choosing to traveling mode? What is the mode of travel? Whether you are going by flight or you are going by bus or you are going by any car or you are going by bike, right? This is one factor. Now let's consider what other factors are there. Based on the road, suppose you are traveling by a road, then what is the road condition? If it's a super fine road, it's a NH road, then it will take less time to reach. There will be no hurdles, right? This is one parameter. And weather condition, maybe it's a heavy raining, while going it's a heavy raining, so definitely it will take less time. I mean, definitely it will take more time because the weather condition is very it's not fair, right? It's a heavily raining, or maybe it's a snowfall. I mean, definitely snowfall will not be there, but let's assume it's a falling snow, right? So definitely it will take more time, right? So we cannot say Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam, it will take 10 hours or 12 hours or 8 hours or 5 hours or 3 hours. First of all, we need to consider what are the different factors are there, right? So exactly like this, Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam, 800 is that kilometer, right? Hyderabad to Visakhapatnam, 800 is the kilometer. It's a fixed one. Like this, for a user story, it's a 2 hours. Sorry, two story point is the fix. But for this two story point, you may take 2 days. I will take 5 days, or maybe someone will take 1 day, or somebody take 3 days, right? So this will based on that experience. Suppose a experienced developer is there and he is doing some doing some feature, definitely he will take less time, right? Maybe some fresher developer is doing that one, some freshers is doing that one, obviously it will take lot of time, right? So based on that user story point, we cannot say how much time it will take, right? So different factors are there to determine that time, right? So hope you got this the time, how will calculate the time, or what is the relations between that what is this story point and calculating those times. Hope you got it. Now let's move to next slide. So now next thing is capacity, right? What exactly this capacity in that scrum we're gonna see. So capacity is how much availability the team has for that sprint, current sprint. So capacity calculation for 2 week sprint. Here is an example, right? Suppose we do have a member of 5 members. Sorry, we do have a team of 5 members, right? So in that 5 member, what is that capacity of our team, right? So the total availability hours, right? Suppose we have 5 members, and what are the total availability hours of that team? That is known as capacity, right? So let me explain here with an example. Suppose here a team member one is there, right? So 2 week sprint means 10 days sprint, right? So in this 10 days sprint, one team member is there, team member one, and he is available for 7 days. Arey, how come? Where is those 3 days? Maybe he is a married person and he's working. Sorry, not working. Marriage anniversary is there, so that's why he took 3 days leave, right? So his marriage anniversary is there. He's taking 3 days leave for that one, right? See, he is only available for 7 days. Team member 2 is a bachelor like you and me, and he is completely available, right? There is no tension, nothing. He is 10 days completely, entire 10 days he is available, right? Now again, team member three, he has some work in personal work. He is taking 2 days leave. Team member 4 taking 1 day's leave, right? And team member 5 whole 10 days available, right? So these are availability of the days, right? So let's see what is the capacity, right? If you see right hand side, total working days, we have 10 days. Team member 1 is available for 7 days, and here I am multiplying with 6 hours. So why this is 6, right? So each day, suppose your office timing is total hours is 9 hours, right? Maybe you say 10 to 6 or 10 to 7, or whatever the working hours. So maybe the total entire office working hour is 9 hours, right? But within that 9 hours, we do have a lunch hour, we do have a breakfast hour, or we have a tea time, and we do have lots of meeting, stand up meeting, and all other discussion meetings are there, right? So in that case, we are excluding 3 hours, right? Those 3 hours we are excluding, and we are saying only 6 hour is the productivity hours. This is that productivity hours, right? So we are multiplying 7 with 6, so 42 hours. Team member 2 entire available, 10 into 6 60. Team member 3 8 into 6 48. Team member 4 9 into 6 54. Team member 5 10 into 6 60 hours, right? So total entire hours is 264 hours, right? So this is the 264 hours is that total capacity of that team, right? This is the total capacity. So if you got an interview, what is the capacity in a if that interview asks what is that capacity in a scrum team, then you can easily explain that one, right? Or else if you are working on a scrum team, then you can understand what is that capacity, right? So this is the 264 hours, that entire capacity. So where this capacity is used, so this is used for to look at that metrics. So what is that metrics, that how our team is performing, how well our team is performing day by day, sorry, not day by day, sprint by sprint. So you can see that metrics how the team is performing, right? So this is that capacity thing. Then velocity is another parameter. So velocity is always defined as a story points we have delivered for that particular sprint. So if you see here, suppose team member 1 is taking 5 story points, team member 2 is taking 8 story point, team member 3 is 7 story point, team member 4 is 8 story point, and team member 5 is 8 story point, right? So total is a 36 story points that entire sprint. So for the entire sprint, we are planning 36 story points. But what happened during the development, it took some lot of time, but we are unable to deliver some products, right? Unable to deliver some features. That's why at max we are able to deliver 30 points, right? 6 points we are not able to deliver. So in that case, you can say 30 is our team velocity. So with 264 hours of capacity, we do have a velocity of 30 points. So with this 264 hours capacity, 30 is the velocity, right? So this capacity velocity in a matrix, we'll see each sprint how much we are doing. So first sprint with 264 30 points, maybe in second sprint with 264 we have 35 points we have covered. So you can see a graph, that metrics you can see. So how the team is performing, we can see. So hope you got a clear picture about those velocity. Okay, so we are coming at the end, right? So entire thing is this one. So what exactly the Scrum in a nutshell? So instead of a large group spending their long time for building a big thing, like unlike waterfall model, maybe somebody's want to join. Okay, it's already ending. We don't know. Okay, so this is the this is the last one. So Scrum in a nutshell means, so instead of a large group spending a long time building a big thing, unlike waterfall model, we have a small team like 10 to 12 members of team or 5 to 7 members of team spending a short time for building a small thing, right? So and but integrating those deliverable things regularly to get a big product at the end, right? So if you see here, product backlog is there, sprint backlog is there, and 2 to 4 weeks of sprint we are doing those work, and at the end we are delivering those products, right? So this is the entire stuffs, that entire uh, agile and scrum whatever I have discussed. So do you have any questions? Then after this one I'll move to we'll see the practically, different tools are there, different tools are there to manage this scrum team, and we are doing and following those processes like Jira and what else, Rally and Wuxzilla, those things are there. So practically I will show you in Jira how it will works, or how we are creating a sprint, how we are creating a story, and different stuffs are there, those things. So we'll move to that one, but before that one, just I want to know if you have any questions. I don't know, you are listening or just attending those meeting and went to somewhere else. Okay, let me see the screen. Any questions? Any questions?
No questions.
Okay, good. Thanks for acknowledgement. So I hope everybody got it, the entire thing clearly. Now let's move to the next one. Okay, chart. Is there any in chart something? Okay, Q&A session. Scrum is a framework or model. You can say it's a model and framework, both the things, that there is no problem. May 6 hours in. Okay, you are not getting the screen. I don't know what is the problem. Okay, cool. So now let's see that entire workflow. So hope you are able to see my screen. So different,
Yes.
okay, good. So different tools are there to manage that Scrum team, like Jira and Rally and Bugzilla. Like these different tools are there. So ideally we are using Jira tool for managing those stuffs. So if you see here, I have already created a Jira account. This is a free account, and as this is a free account, we do have limited features, but I will show you what exactly we are doing. So in Jira you can see that one Arogyam some project is there. So this project creation and all those stuff will taken care by Jira administrator, right? So one Jira administrator will be there. So one Jira administrator will be there who will take care of that one, right? Who will take care of that one? I mean, creating those project and creating those user IDs for Scrum Master and a product owner and a team member, right? So Jira administrator will do all those stuffs like creating those users and creating those projects. And we users don't have that much access, so just we need to log in that Jira and we need to do our things, right? So if you see here, this is a project. Let me click that one. Okay, so it's a already there something. Okay, no worries. So you can see here backlog is there, right? Product backlog, left hand side you can see backlog. So here all those features will be there, right? So just see, it's a sprint one is there, right? Sprint one is there. In that sprint one, one task or feature is there, right? So how to create a sprint, you can see here. Let me create a sprint. What is that one? So sprint, it's sprint 2 got created. Edit sprint, let me edit that one. So if you want to take some name, right, so you can give that name AR sprint 2 like this. Here in sprint we have created, it's a sprint 2. Now let's see how we'll create a feature, right? So you can see for this Arogyam project, user story, this is called a story, and what exactly that summary is. So designing, designing login screen. So this creation of a story will taken care by that product owner. So here I am doing. And attachments, what are the business documents are there or business requirement documents are there, he can attach here in the attachment section. And in description section, he will, and in the description section and in the description section he will do the he will describe the entire thing. So maybe design the login screen, then users have user hub. What is that one? What are the fields are there, right? Input field for email or user ID, then password field, right? So like this he can describe entire thing. And who is the reporter, right? So here either I mean, report means who is creating this story. So here is a my name and issue. So here is this. So this whatever you are seeing here, right? So these are customizable. Here you can see something, but wherever anywhere you are using in your organization, it might differ, right? Assigned to whom, right? So in your team, lots of team members will be there, right? So to whom you want to assign. So here I have one more team member, Srikant Panigra, you can see. So I am assigning him. And what is the priority? It's a medium or highest or low or lowest. Based on that you can choose. Suppose it's a highest priority. Then sprint is there. Which sprint you want to include that one? So I have created future sprint, right? Sprint 2 also I have created, so it's showing it's a future sprint or sprint 1. So let me add this one and future sprint 2. And here is the story point. So how much point you want to give this one? So ideally this pointing thing in planning meeting, we are pointing that one. All the team members will point that story. So someone will say 2 pointer, someone will say 3 pointer. Based on that, at the last we will decide how much point exactly this one. Suppose let me take this is a 5 point. So this task includes development effort and testing effort, the entire effort it includes, right? So here we have filled everything. If you see here, then let me create. Yes. So here you can see this feature it's added into sprint 2. Sorry, it's not in the sprint 2 or sprint 2, not in the sprint 2. It's there inside there in that product backlog. So in the backlog it's there, in the product backlog it's there. So once you have prioritized those features, yes, we want this one in sprint 2. So what you can say, what you can do, designing login screen, or it's there in sprint 2. Okay, sorry, I have created that one in sprint 2. I mean, I have included that one, right? So while creating that one, I have included, right? So it's there in sprint 2. So once this one done, so you can do here create a sprint. Sorry, we can start sprint you can do, right? So once that sprint started, so you can, I mean, you and me like developer will start that sprint. So here that status is there, to do status, right? Let me open in that big screen. Okay, so here you can see it's a to do in, right? To do means still we need to do. So you can do in progress, you can move that one. Suppose you have started working on that one, so you can do in progress, and you can do everything done, you can do done. And here you can do those logging work also, you can log in. I am seeing where we need to log a log work, right? So you can put here how much work you have done, suppose 6 hours. So you can type what work you have done, and you can save, right? So sorry, it's by default take 6 minutes, so you can do 6 hours. So whatever the things you can do, like this entire thing you can do, right? So how we got how to create a user story, and what is backlog, you can see backlog, and what is sprint. Here I show you different sprints, and how to log time on, how to log your work with time, whether it's a 1 hour or 2 hour, you need to daily log, right? Suppose this is a user story, and daily you are working on the user story, right? Suppose today how much you work, how much work you have done. Suppose for this user story, suppose you take two user story. So first user story you have worked for 3 hours, and second user story you work for 3 hours. So you can log your hours to there, right? So if you logging those hours properly, then if anybody want to see that status, suppose uh, product owner want to see the status, what people are working on, or then he can see, yes, this story is in progress, maybe that developer is working on that one, right? So this is the entire thing, and you can see different reports are here, there lot of reports are there. Burn down chart, burn up chart, sprint report, velocity chart. That capacity velocity I already explained, right? So fast sprint, this is the capacity, this is the velocity. So what exactly that one, these are the lot of charts are there to identify how our team is performing, I mean sprint by sprint, how our team is efficient and how our team is doing, right? So based on these charts and metrics, we'll rectify our process, and we'll modify our process to make it work effectively, and to deliver that products effectively to that client, right? So this is the entire stuffs, right? Okay, there we go. So we have done the entire thing. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. If you have any doubts and you have any questions, you can ask me. Meanwhile, I can stop the recording.